UFC 279 got to be the craziest and most hectic event I've ever seen in my life. First, we had Paulo Costa and Khamzat going at it earlier in the week. Then we had Kevin Holland and Khamzat going at it, and it was just massive brawl behind the scene. They had to stop the press conference because these dudes was wilding out. I don't know what Kevin Holland is thinking. Like, Kevin Holland is going crazy. He's running his mouth. Apparently, he's going crazy, right? When he know he don't want that smoke. He know he's not a good wrestler. He know he can't handle that smoke. I don't even know why he's calling out Khamzat. But anyway, so Khamzat comes in and he weighs 178.5. And he's huge. The dude is looking huge. He's not even like remorseful. He's like shrugging it off. He already knew. Apparently his body locked up and doctors advised him to not cut weight anymore. So when I heard of it, I was like, man, I should do a video because I have 2 suggestions. I said, I'm thinking to myself, Nate should fight another welterweight and Khamzat should fight someone in middleweight. Before I can even get through traffic, the UFC had already made the switch. And we got an interesting card on us. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. This is a really, really good fight. It sucks that these 2 guys have to fight each other and not be prepared for each other. But it is crazy because both guys are a trash talker group of people who just wild and rambunctious and gonna come with the fire. The game plan is out the window, right? It's gonna be an all-out, free-for-all brawl. Both guys can do jiu-jitsu. Both guys they don't care about getting punched. Both guys are trash talkers, and both of them can do jiu-jitsu. Again, this is going to be crazy. My goodness, this is a good fight. I think this fight is more compelling fight than the fight with Khamzat because now we know Nate Diaz is going to be able to do Nate Diaz. We don't have to worry about him being thrown against the cage and slammed and all that stuff and held down for 5 rounds. Now we know that he's going to have to go in there and brawl with a wild man. That's Tony Ferguson. Now, for that boy Kevin Holland, you asked for it. I don't want to hear your mouth. I don't want to see you with your head down when you get that beaten. You can't fight a person that can wrestle. Your wrestling is not up to par. But we about to find out if you actually been improving since your last beatdown against a wrestler. So you asked for it. Here it is. Mr. Khamzat Chimaev is coming at your front door, and he's coming through your house, taking everything. It is the irony of it because this is what Khamzat coach said earlier. He
Respect to everyone you know. We're not here to fight anyone, he said. And no, Kevin Holland is not going to get a fight with Khamzat. Forget about that. All this goading and all these things, it doesn't work. The same with Paulo Costa. They're not going to get a fight. You understand? That's about it. We're going to fight against the champs. And the
new fight terms. I'm only taking the fight of his main event in his 5 rounds. Other than that, not fighting. Boom, gone.
Woo! He gonna have to chew his words. Both of them. Kevin Holland got to chew his words, and then Khamzat's manager gonna have to chew his words because guess what? It's gonna happen. You didn't feel yourself worthy. You felt yourself too high to fight this guy. Well, guess what? You're going back down. You're gonna fight Kevin Holland now. I think personally, what we need to do is really check with Khamzat's body and find out what really happened. Did he lose weight because he lost distraction with all the chaos that was happening early in the week? Maybe all the stress, hard to focus with him in the altercation with Paulo and now Kevin. Maybe he couldn't focus at that point. Maybe there's too much going on. Or is it something where his body has overgrown the division? If his body was locking up, now we got to think about his safety. Can he even get in the ring or fight at this point? So I'm always about fighter safety, and I think we should definitely be asking that question to everyone. How is his health and his safety at this current moment? And now the big question is, because he's been calling out Israel Adesanya for a while, should he go up to 185 pounds? He was originally 185 pounds early in his career. Maybe it's time for him to go up there. It sucks because he was climbing the ranks. But if you can't make the weight, man, you can't make the weight. Man, if your body's locking up and you're just not healthy, then you got to go up in weight. Personally, Me as a martial artist, I don't even like the idea of the weight cutting in the first place. I'm against it, right? I'm against that. I'm against steroids, because if you believe that you are the best martial artist, then you should be willing to prove your techniques and everything else without assistance of being a heavier weight, without assistance in all the other stuff. Prove that you have the greater technique. And so my recommendation to the UFC is, in order to prevent this stuff from happening again, adopt the rules that the IBF has. Let there be a 30-day weigh-in, a 10-day weigh-in, and the day of the night weigh-in. Meaning this, at 30 days you have to weigh this much. Within, I believe the IBF says, I think it's 10 pounds on, 10 pounds within a certain weight limit, within a time zone. And then the day of the fight, you weigh a certain kind of weight, and then your rehydration weight can only be 10 pounds over your weight, right? Hey, I think it's time for us to start thinking of something that make these events fair and to prevent people from hurting themselves. And, you know, there's so much happening. So many fighters are dying from getting punched in the head, and then the weight losses is inserted. So I think that it's time for us to start looking at this and preventing these main events from having to be canceled. But in any case, listen, it turned out well, because we're going to get a heck of a fight tonight. The smoke and the drama between Kevin Holland and Khamzat, and Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson. DROD'S MMA Boxing. Hit the like button, subscribe. Write down in the comment section what you think is. Tell me what you think. I mean, there's a lot of things I threw out there at y'all. I mean, Khamzat at 185. I mean, listen, there's a lot of good options out there, a lot of good fights. DROD'S MMA Boxing. Peace.
Interrupt the video, Dad.
It's too late.
My mom wants you. Sorry to interrupt.
Tell her I'll be there in a second.